One of the options in Facebook Live Engagenator requires a little bit of additional thought and effort to be put into it to really get the best results from it. I'm talking about the thumbnail that you are allowed to include along with your video. You select your video, but then you also have this thumbnail that can be shown at the beginning of your video. This is something that you can create in a number of different ways. So I want to show you two different ways that you can go about creating these thumbnail videos or pictures for your videos. And then I also want to give you my recommendations as far as what should actually be in these thumbnails. Should it be just a picture from your videos? Should there be some kind of text on it? There's a lot of different ways that you could really try to go about creating that thumbnail or what you could put in it. So all of these different aspects are things that may easily be overlooked if you really don't stop and think about them. However, if you can craft a well thought out thumbnail for your video, it's simply going to help you to get more exposure and better results from your video. A lot of times on Facebook, especially if you are going to be advertising your video post that you create to get it some additional exposure, a lot of times the thumbnail for the video will actually end up being used as part of that advertisement, and people need to click on that thumbnail until they can actually, watch the video. So a lot of times that thumbnail is something that kind of needs to draw the person in and convince them, hey, this is a video that I want to, take a few minutes and try to watch. So with that said, a couple of different ways that you can go about creating these thumbnails. One of the easiest ways is to simply take a screenshot from the video that you are going to be posting. If you just open this video up to watch it on your own computer and expand it to be full screen, you can simply take a screenshot of a particular frame from that video that you think represents what the video is about. Now, there are some cases where this may work out great for you, and there are other cases where a screenshot from the video is really not going to do you a lot of good. Ultimately, it will depend on what is actually in your video. Is there some particular frame in there that is representative of what your entire video is about? Something that's going to draw people in. If that does not exist in your video itself, that is when you would want to actually create your own thumbnail from scratch to be loading up at the beginning of this video. Before I show you how to create your own though, if you are thinking about going the screenshot method, there are a lot of different ways and free tools out there that can be used to create a screenshot off of your computer. If you're using Windows, you should have access to this particular one. I thought I would point this out. This is free. It comes along with Windows. It's called Snipping Tool. And it's really quite easy to use. There are a number of different options. You can do full screen snips, which would likely be what you're interested in doing. So you could set up, say, a full screen snip, which you might want to go into, simply verify that you want all of these different options enabled for you. Personally, I like to actually use, on this particular one, the rectangular snip, which allows me to select an area but if I'm going to be doing this for a video, I usually will want the entire page. You simply get the video on your screen. The hard part about trying to take a screenshot from it, though, is simply that you're not going to be able to actually pause the video, or else then your screenshot is going to have that pause or that play button in the center, and Facebook doesn't allow stuff like that. So you would essentially want to have the video playing and be able to try to time that snipping tool to take a full page screenshot for you at the appropriate moment. You could even get one, there's a lot of different free ones out there where you can assign some kind of a hotkey to where you just punch the key on your computer when you want the screenshot to be taken. There's a lot of different ways you can go about doing that. As far as creating your own thumbnail from scratch, though, that's something that for some people might be pretty easy if you have some kind of graphic software that you're used to using. If you're a Photoshop user or something like that, you know, you're like, oh, no problem, I can create a thumbnail, that'll be a piece of cake. If you have not really done stuff with graphics before, though, you might be a little taken back by this and like, whoa, I don't want to learn how to do graphics or buy some additional graphic software just to be able to throw these thumbnails together. And I would agree. I don't think it's worth the effort or the investment even to say go out and buy Photoshop, even though you can get Photoshop on a cheap monthly subscription for, I believe it's about $20 a month these days. However, I actually would recommend to use something called Canva.com. It's a completely free website. You can go to Canva.com, register your account. If you have Facebook or Google Plus, you can actually just click on a quick little sign up button to get in here in a matter of a few seconds, actually. This can be used as a graphic design program, and you can create those thumbnails pretty easily with this thing. Now, ultimately, the thumbnail that you're going to create, it could technically be of any size. However, I've talked with the developer of Facebook Live Engagenator to ask about how these thumbnails actually function. And he told me that, you know, you can upload essentially a video that is of any dimensions and a thumbnail of any dimensions, and it will scale those to fit. So your thumbnail will essentially get scaled to match the size of your video. With that said, though, I would really recommend creating a thumbnail that is the exact same dimensions as the actual video that you're going to be posting. If you're not quite sure what the dimensions are of the videos that you have recorded, if you open it up in Windows File Manager, for example, and just simply right-click on it and click on Properties, you'll get this little window. Just click on Details, and you'll see the frame width and the frame height. These are the dimensions that you want the actual thumbnail to be in. So for my video here, if I'm going to be uploading this one, I want 1920 by 1080, the width being the first number, the height being the second number. So now that I know what dimensions I want to create, I can try to find a design on Canva that is matching those dimensions. This would then allow me to use a number of these pre-built templates that they have available if I wanted to try to make something a little fancier looking. You can see all of these different examples that they have up here. A lot of these are templates where you can just change different aspects of them, like the images that are used and the text that is on them, things of that nature, and make your own, really professional looking graphics using this website. And again, it's all for free. For my videos that are 1920 by 1080, I use the documents. Under documents here, there's this presentation 16 by 9. This is the aspect ratio. There's another one of a smaller size and different dimensions. This one, though, matches my dimensions exactly, and so this is a good one to use as a basis for my thumbnails that I would create for my videos. If you cannot find something here, let's say maybe you created a video and it's a different dimension from mine, and you can't find something here that matches yours exactly, you can simply go up here to the Use Custom Dimensions button and just type in 1920 by 1080 or whatever your dimensions are, and it's going to automatically create a design for you. The only difference here, though, is that you're not going to have options to use all the different layouts that are normally available. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll go ahead and load this one up also. This is the one that was pre-designed here. So I have access to all these different templates that I could use to base it off of. On the one where I just specify my own dimensions, I just have these different layouts. Each of these layout areas essentially gives you a place to upload an image to. So you could upload an image that would cover the entire background for this one and then just put text over it. If you wanted a couple of different images and different layouts on the page, then you just simply find a layout that matches whatever it is that you're going for. Personally, though, for these thumbnails for Facebook Live videos, I really recommend going for something pretty simple. You don't have to put a ton of time and effort into these. Chances are the average person that's viewing your video may never even see this. It's really just for certain people that end up viewing your video. Just kind of depends on what kind of exposure you give to your video, whether or not you're going to be advertising for it. It can kind of affect how many people could potentially end up seeing this. So with that said, you don't have to try to essentially go all out. You don't have to be making a design that looks something like one of these templates that they have available for you here. You can do something super simple and basic, which would just be putting text on top of a plain white background. Personally, I find that this works okay for Facebook. The white background blends in with the news feed, and so the large text kind of tends to stand out. The one thing you have to consider, though, is if you are going to put text on your thumbnail for your video, and then you are going to be promoting that Facebook Live video with Facebook advertising, Facebook does have a limit of the text on a picture cannot take up more than 20% of the entire image. So you do have to go for toned down text in a way. Just to show you kind of what I am referring to using a couple of these examples over here. Something pretty simple like this, you can see the text is pretty small. This would definitely occupy less than 20% of the area of the picture. Something much larger, though, like the waffles one, maybe the Saving the Orcas and Dolphins picture here, the text is taking up a significantly larger portion of the entire thumbnail. So these would likely not be allowed for a Facebook ad, whereas this one likely would. This one would be okay. This would be okay. This one might be okay. It's pretty close as to whether that might actually be more than 20% of the total size of the image or not. So just keep that in mind when you are designing your own thumbnail. What I like to do to keep it pretty simple is to just, again, put some text on a plain white background. So I can just click on the text tab here and click on add heading is a good one to start with. It's a nice size. If you want to change different aspects of it though, like changing the font if you want to go for a particular look, you can easily change the font size, the font colors. What you really want to be focused on, more so than the actual design of these images, is the message that you are getting across to people. If somebody is scrolling through their Facebook newsfeed and this video of yours with this thumbnail showing up at the beginning scrolls past their screen, will it catch their attention? You know, is it something that they're going to pause and be like, hey, I'm curious about this. I want to see what this video is about. I want to hear what the person has to say. That is ultimately what you're going for. Some topics on Facebook will get a lot more interest than others. That's just the nature of the beast. But for pretty much anything, you can still craft a really good piece of text to show up here for your thumbnail, as opposed to just taking the simple way out. You know, you don't want to do something like click here to watch my video. You know, you want to tell people a little of what the video is about, and if you're targeting the video correctly, you know, if you kind of have an idea of who is going to end up seeing this video, you can sort of gear it towards them. So just as an example, I have a video that I put together for the product that I'm teaching you guys how to use right now, Facebook Live Engagenator. If I'm going to be putting this video on Facebook Live and I want to try to entice people to watch a review of mine of the Facebook Live Engagenator software, then there are a number of different ways that I could potentially go about writing the text for that. I could do something very straightforward and pretty boring and non-inspiring, like watch my Facebook Live Engagenator review. You know, sure, it tells people what the video is about. Unless somebody knows what Facebook Live Engagenator is, chances are they're probably not going to click on it though. So that's an example of something you want to try to avoid doing. Think about what people will benefit from. What is somebody going to learn from watching your video? How can you express that in a very short amount of text? That is essentially what you want to have on your thumbnail. So to give you a different example of something that would be a lot more appealing and positive, I can talk about what my video is really about. Facebook Live Engagenator, the software, is something that is designed to allow people to post recorded videos on Facebook Live. So that one simple thing is really what it's all about, without actually talking about what the product is. So this same concept can really be applied to pretty much anything that you want to be trying to sell with one of these videos. Don't use the actual product or tell people about the product here. Tell them about what it's going to do for them. How are they going to be better off after they have watched this video. So for my example, I could do something like how to post previously recorded videos on Facebook Live. Now I created a second piece of text here. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I like designing my text this way. It just makes it a little easier to manage, to where I can quickly set a different font, a different size, even a different color for different aspects of this text. So now I have the normal piece of my text, how to post previously recorded videos on, and then I'm kind of emphasizing the one part that I really want to grab people's attention. This is something that should ring true with the people that I think this video might get in front of. So obviously, I know that everybody this video is going to get in front of on Facebook is going to obviously be a Facebook user and could potentially be a user of Facebook Live. More importantly though, I'm going to be targeting this video towards marketers. So I know that they likely would be somebody that would want to post a video on Facebook Live to take advantage of the traffic potential that is out there for this. So I know that something like this is going to help to grab their attention. Facebook Live is pretty new right now, but on top of that, the fact that I'm talking about previously recorded videos here and putting them on something that is a live video platform, it makes people wonder, how is this done? And they're curious about it. They are inclined to want to watch the video. So now, once you have these different pieces of text to get that message across to people that you want to get across to them to help entice them to want to watch your video, all you simply need to do is just tidy it up a little bit. I like to try to center my text. You can do this one piece at a time in Canva by just clicking on them, and right here you want to get the little move icon to show up on your mouse, and then you can just click and drag. However, I like to click one of these pieces of text and then hold the shift button down on my Windows computer and click on the second piece of text, or if I had maybe even 3 pieces of text or something like that. Then with those two selected, I can drag the entire piece of it. Now notice how when I move left and right, how I get this little line that shows up the middle of my screen here. And when I adjust the image up and down a little, I can also get a little line showing up there. You see right now how I have it set. I have both the vertical and the horizontal extra line that is showing up on my screen right now. That is where you are looking to place the image. Now it's perfectly centered horizontally and vertically. So all of your text simply looks nice when it is, displayed in that thumbnail image. So that's really all you have to do. It's that simple to put together one of these custom-made and even appealing thumbnail images. You don't have to go crazy with these. You don't have to spend hours and hours working on them. Once you are done putting all of this together, then you simply go up here, click on download. I recommend going for the high quality PNG image, and you just simply save this design. So now it's all done, and you can see it has downloaded this image to my computer. So now I can simply take this image and load it up as the thumbnail inside of Facebook Live Engagenator.